was pretty good. That was pretty good. A lot of the time, you know, the cheers for Minecraft exceed the cheers for school. But one of the things that we're going to talk about is a lot of the things that make Minecraft really appealing. The fact that it's less about winning the game and more about open-ended exploration. The fact that it's about creativity and finding different ways to explore and be successful. Those model what we're trying to do in the 21st century classroom. And so today we're going to hear from a lot of different people on this panel who have all got different angles on how we're using Minecraft in the classroom. So I think what we'll do is we'll start and we'll just go down the line, and if you can just briefly introduce yourself and what you do, and then you'll have a chance to hear more from each of us kind of in turn.
Hi guys, my name's Ray Chambers and I'm the head of IT at Uppingham Community College, and I've been using Minecraft to get more students into coding, and we've also been using it for them to create an environment so they can explain their assessments, they can explain their history lessons, they can explain how their mathematical terms work. So we've been using Minecraft in this way.
Hello everyone, my name is Jannika Aldo. I'm from a company called Teacher Gaming. We're a bunch of teachers and developers based in Finland and the US, and our goal is to make Minecraft and other mainstream games accessible for teachers so they can use it in their classrooms and in their teaching.
My name is Douglas Keong, and I teach high school in Honolulu, Hawaii. And I've been using Minecraft to get kids a lot more excited about coding and programming.
Hello, my name is Sean Fay Wolf. I am 18 years old, and I am from Rhode Island in the United States. I am the author of the Elementia Chronicles, which is a trilogy of novels that are set in the world of Minecraft. I started writing it when I was 14, and I self-published it when I was 16. And not long after, I started giving talks in schools across the U.S. about the series and how I went about writing it. And I later expanded my talks to include giving kids advice on storytelling and the writing process. And now that is what I do. I travel across the country balancing playing Minecraft and writing with giving talks to kids about the writing process.
Hello, my name is Gabriel Yanagihara. I'm also a teacher at Iolani School in Honolulu, Hawaii. So we had a nice flight out here. There I teach middle school video game design programming, and I use Minecraft for a whole bunch of different projects that we have, and I'll go more into detail later.
Hi, my name is Shane Asselstein. I'm a public school teacher in Pearl City, Hawaii, Mominani Elementary. I have been using Minecraft for 3 years in my classroom, and I'm not looking to turn away from it. So.
Hello, my name is Adam Clark, and I play Minecraft every day. Oh, and I also do interesting things with it, but it's a bit like that, isn't it? It's like a kind of, hello, I'm afraid we play Minecraft. Yeah, I do Take Worlds, and I work with Stampy on Wonder Quest 2.
Hi, I'm Dragnos, and I don't really work so much in education, but I support a lot of teachers and home educators who are actually using Minecraft in schools and things. I especially work with Adam here on Wonder Quest and Tate World and all of his mad schemes.
So thanks a lot, and I'd love to hear a little bit from each of us in turn. So why don't we start with Jannika?
Yes. Okay. Do you hear this in the back? Okay. Yeah, so like I said, we work with a lot of teachers, and every day we see a ton of ways to use Minecraft in education. And there is no one way, I guess you could say there is no one right way to use that, but each teacher has their own way to take that into their classrooms. And some people use it to teach specific subjects, and I'm sure that we'll later see some really great examples from the panelists. But you can also think of Minecraft as a platform, kind of like a virtual classroom that enables learning. And so we like to encourage the novice teachers, the teachers that are not pros like people in here, to give it a go, to just be brave and start with a random world, give some voice to the students, so you don't have to be an expert to start using Minecraft, but you can So you can ask students for ideas. They usually are very, very eager to share because Minecraft is close to their heart, is close to their own life. So you can get some great examples from the students and then use that as a basis of your teaching. And that also changes the classroom dynamics. So teachers don't have to be the person who knows best, but it gives some power and it empowers the students as well. And I'm also, as Teacher Gaming, we've had some outreach programs. So we did 2 tours with professional development. Like we did workshops for game-based learning. So they were about, oh my God, I'm sorry. Well, first one was in Europe, so we ran workshops for teachers and students. So we tried to give teachers good examples of how they can use Minecraft in their schools. And the later one was in West Coast United States. Oh my God, I'm sorry. No, I'm not. So the teachers, they need support. They're eager and they're curious, but they need support. So we wanted to get them together. We wanted to offer them some good examples so that they can then take it and continue in their own experience. And as oh my God, I think we have a Culture-Tech person in the audience. So after the first tour, the whole secondary schools in Northern Ireland adopted Minecraft. So we got Minecraft into all their schools, and now the secondary schools in Northern Ireland can use that as a platform to then do some other projects. And today, or actually just earlier this week, we announced Computercraft EDU, released Computercraft EDU, which is a mod to teach children about coding. So we have a Computercraft expert here. We've been working with Daniel Radcliffe, Dan200, to develop a mod that has both visual and coding sides. So even those who don't know anything about coding can use Minecraft and Computercraft EDU to get the basics into coding, and that they can advance into Lua programming later. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. All right. So my name is Douglas Keong, and I love this quote by Daniel Pink. Daniel Pink wrote a book called A Whole New Mind, and what it talks about is how the skills that are going to be marketable now are different from what they were in the industrial age, that in fact the future belongs to people who are creative, who are storytellers, who are builders, and I think that perfectly exemplifies the kinds of skills that make you good at Minecraft. So my goal is to try to make my classroom more like Minecraft. So this is my school. I teach at Punahou School in Honolulu, Hawaii. I hadn't heard about Minecraft until my students used it to build the school in Minecraft. They did the entire campus, and it was quite extraordinary. And then I started to look at it, and I realized that Minecraft can really revolutionize the classroom in these 3 areas: community, content, and culture. And I'm going to talk about the first 2 primarily, and then I think like Gabriel's been doing a lot with culture, teaching Hawaiian culture through Minecraft. I teach my class in a project-based learning environment. So I start by giving kids challenges. And so one challenge that I gave the kids is we're going to set up a Minecraft server that will run in parallel with our real-life world. And our goal is to create a self-sustaining community that reinforces trust among individuals and rewards pro-social behavior. That is our mission statement for our server, and it became our vision for the classroom. Everything that my kids did in the classroom, I needed them to measure against that statement. Is what I'm doing going to reinforce trust between people, and is it pro-social? And then I just let them build, and we built this world together. Kids did things like create a community chest. One experiment, we had a big discussion about this, was how often we would need to refill the chest and who would do it. And to their surprise, they found out that, in fact, nobody had to refill the chest. Somebody had to build a second chest because people were taking the food when they needed it, and they were coming back and leaving more food than they had taken. And so the contents were actually growing. And that was kind of a neat little lesson that they kind of learned socially. There are also other examples. Should TNT be allowed on our server? This created a huge teachable moment. After the laptops were closed and we weren't even using Minecraft anymore, we talked about, should we ban TNT? Or should we just punish the people who are using TNT? What kills people? Does TNT kill people, or do other people using TNT kill people? This parallels a really big debate in the United States around gun control. And so most of the great learning that happens in my classroom happens outside of Minecraft, but Minecraft is the catalyst for the learning that happens. I struggle with teaching my kids things like content, like Boolean algebra. And for years, I would just teach them that if you want to turn that first equation to the second one, you just need to factor in the exclamation point and switch the signs. And my kids would do this blindly on worksheets, and they wouldn't realize what they were doing. And so we built these things in Redstone. And then I said, okay, take what you know and make a video for me that shows that you've made something creative using those same concepts. So here's what one student did.
So instead of building a door, which is kind of boring, I decided to try something different. So if you have a secret chest in your house that you want to hide stuff in from people, you can use this. Basically, you switch one, nothing happens. It's almost like a mini pattern, but if you switch twice, then this little hole is revealed where there's a chest.
So she goes on to show all of the redstone that she used.
People to find it.
And that's a way for me to assess that she really does not only understand redstone, but she understands the Boolean algebra, the NOT gates and the XOR gates and the OR gates that underlie that. And that also lays a very strong foundation for learning programming. So here's another challenge I gave them. Very important one. I want you to build me an office. It has to be underwater, and it has to be really big. And so the kids started debating, and I didn't tell them how they were going to do it. And this was in survival, so I wasn't going to gift them anything. And so the kids had a long discussion about how can we find out how much sand is that and how much coal to fire that sand and make glass. And all of a sudden, one of my kids jumps up and he goes, wait, I just realized something. We're all talking about cutting the dome in half. Mathematical word is bisecting. If we cut it farther up the dome, we don't lose as much surface area, but we use significantly less glass. And at some point, there's a tipping point where you start to lose a lot of surface area and you don't have as much savings. So they had a big discussion about where's the sweet spot for that. This is math. This is critical thinking, mathematical reasoning, but within the context of Minecraft. And this kid was not an A student by any stretch, but he was very clever, and Minecraft rewards people who think creatively. And in the end, they came in and they built this, and it was beautiful. And, you know, in the end, a couple kids drowned and a few kids burned to death, but my office looks awesome. So again, finally, I think Minecraft has really changed my classroom because of what it's done in terms of building community, allowing me to teach content in a way that's adaptive to the individual learner, and really reinforcing a culture of creativity and collaboration with my kids.
All right. Hello, my name is Sean Fay Wolf, and as I said before, I am the author of the Minecraft novel. And let me start by saying this. To the average onlooker, the idea of using Minecraft to educate people is probably more than a little bit far-fetched. Anybody who hasn't played the game before probably just thinks of Minecraft as just like some other popular game, like the equivalent of Call of Duty or something like that. However, I don't think I have to tell any of you guys just how wrong that notion is. How then can Minecraft be used to educate kids? How exactly can a game about putting cubes of dirt together to create a house be considered educational? Well, the key word there is create. I believe that all kids enjoy learning new things, and each and every child has passion, ingenuity, and creativity inside them. And sometimes all it takes is a spark to ignite those traits, and Minecraft's great strength is that it provides sparks in so many different areas. The kid who made a fully automated farm in Minecraft might realize that they find agriculture fascinating and go on to solve world hunger. The child who fiddles around with redstone until they create a functioning elevator might say that Minecraft was their inspiration when, years down the line, they're putting the finishing touches on the flying car. And that's not even counting the countless other aspects of Minecraft, from architecture to survival to teamwork to even just learning how to install a mod by yourself. Minecraft's use in education lies in its ability to inspire passion in so many different fields. And I was one of those kids who was inspired. I started playing Minecraft around the release of the Adventure Update Beta 1.8. I was 14 years old at the time. My friend introduced me to the game, and While I was a little skeptical at first and it took a little bit of getting used to, Minecraft soon became one of my favorite video games of all time. But for me, Minecraft was more than just a fun time killer. Playing in the world of Minecraft ignited a passion in me, which at the time I had nearly forgotten that I had at all. I've always been a creative person, and in elementary school, I would write short stories in the back of my notebooks. They were pretty out there, to say the least. I distinctly remember writing a story about a spy who got shrunk down by an evil scientist and ended up in a chase through the rails of a gumball machine. Yeah, those were the days. By the time I got to middle school, though, my passion for writing had just sort of petered out. I don't know why. Maybe it was because I didn't have the time. Maybe it was because it wasn't considered the cool thing to do anymore. But for whatever reason, I stopped writing. That is, until I started playing Minecraft. As I played on multiplayer servers, I realized that I was amazed by the dynamics of these worlds and how the players interacted with each other, both as friends and as enemies. The more I played, the more I thought about how excellent a setting a multiplayer server would make for a story. I remembered how much I loved writing in elementary school and decided to give it a shot. 2 years and countless hours of editing later, and Quest for Justice, the first book of the Elementia Chronicles trilogy, was completed, soon to be followed by 2 more. We self-published the book at first, and our only advertisement was through social media and word of mouth. So I was very surprised when the book actually started to gain a following in my home state of Rhode Island. As I reflected on my success, I realized that not only had playing Minecraft given me something to write about, but it had returned me to my creative roots, reopening my mind to the wonders of imagination and reinvigorating passion that was long lost in me. With the realization that Minecraft had this potential, I took it upon myself to give talks in schools across the United States. Using my book and my personal story as a backdrop, I've talked to kids of all ages, telling them that it's never impossible to follow your dreams and that hobbies may be more than something you just do for fun. And in the year and a half that I've been giving these talks to kids, I don't think there has been one time where after a talk, a kid hasn't come up to me and said, I'm going to write a story of my own and I'm going to get it published. While I myself am not a student who was brought up on Minecraft EDU, Minecraft has still had a huge impact on my life and ultimately set me on a path to a career. Minecraft is amazing because it had the ability to inspire a normal kid like me to write a book trilogy that would go on to get picked up by HarperCollins and published worldwide in more than 10 different languages. If Minecraft can do that, then I personally believe that Minecraft may be the greatest educational game of all time. I've taken it upon myself to pay it forward by inspiring other kids, and I can only hope that Minecraft education becomes even more widespread in the future. Thank you.
Awesome, that's amazing. So my name is Gabo Yanagihara. So I teach the video game programming course in Hawaii. Let me pop that over. So my big experiment, what got me started in Minecraft, was the realization that a lot of the parents of my students have never beaten their kid in a video game, ever. And my students are such experts in Minecraft, beyond anything I could ever teach them, that they are teaching themselves this complicated skill, this complicated set of technical and social skills with no support from the educational system. So I did a little experiment at my home school, so at the Iolani School in Hawaii, where I wanted to see if we could harness the power of that self-directed learning in Minecraft to see if we can use it for different subjects and harness it in our classrooms to get that same self-drive in our students in our classrooms. So to start that off, I used the story of the Hokulea and the Worldwide Voyage. So in Hawaii, teaching Hawaiian history and Hawaiian culture is kind of like something I really wanted to experiment with. And with this one, this is the story of the Hokulea, which is a voyaging canoe that is a real canoe that they actually have that travels all around the world in that part of the world. And it shares their story. It shares the culture. It shares experiences and communities in that. So my students researched that on their own. So for that experiment, I had them in our classroom first make a list of all the ways that they learned about Minecraft. And as you guys have all seen at the con this year, we have lots of YouTubers. That was the #1 way that they had taught themselves this new skill. So they learned from all of you guys, so thank you. Thank you very much. You make my job so much easier. So I had them use that same set of skills to teach themselves about Hawaiian history. So I'm not an expert in Hawaiian history by any means, but it kind of changed the setting of the classroom. So it was no longer just me as the teacher with the gatekeeper and all the answers at the end of the textbook, to we're all going to learn this together, and we're all going to be taking this voyage together. That's the voyage to the Hokulea. So they were able to map out all that they learned and experience it. So they each take a different aspect of life back in ancient Hawaii. They researched it, and they shared it with everyone in the class. So you can kind of see just them working on their different projects. So from there, they designed and built their own voyaging canoes. So take that creativity further than just exploring what already exists to what they wish existed. So you can see some of the designs that some of the students came up with. So this was a 3rd to 8th grade cohort of students exploring. So for them guys don't know, the yellow and red are the royal colors. So that kid was very adamant that I mentioned that when I came up here. And this here is an island that I put them on. So on the island, I set them up, and I said, okay, I want you all, so this is challenge 2. I want you all to survive on this island, this isolated island, in the same styles and methods that the ancient Hawaiians did. So all the housing, all the fish ponds and taro fields, everything had to be based in research and proven and presented by the students. So they were excited, and they were able to showcase and live in the world that they were learning about, which I thought was super cool. So of course my students wanted to take it even further. So back at the time, I posted on Reddit, and our friends over in the VR industry sent a VR kit over for us. And they were able to use that in their game world to explore the island and to explore some of the other projects. And we've been continuing work on that, and hopefully in the future, the HoloLens. So with that experiment, I was able to take it even further to any other subject matter the students wanted to learn where I was not a content area expert. So the next experiment was Mars. The kids love SpaceX. Anytime there's a new video that comes out of something crashing or exploding or working, we want to watch it. And then they wanted to do a workshop on that where they had to design their own mission to Mars. So here we had like a basic setup. They had to design how they're going to get food, water, shelter, power, and everything in Mars. And they had to rationalize it back with research and citing all their sources. So that's it. That's one of the many projects we have going at Iolani School over in Hawaii. Some of the other ones we have coming up are going to be civics and world government, conflict management, pretty much any subject, any idea that the students want to come up with. All right, thank you.
Okay, so my name is Shane Asselstein, and some of you might know my maps as Mr. A. I'm pretty active in the Minecraft EDU community. This year, our projects took a little bit of a turn. We have used Minecraft in the past to do a lot of math content-specific lessons. And this year, I decided I would change that, and we switched more to kind of project-based learning, where I was pulling in content areas from across curricular. So I'm going to kind of show you 3 of our 4 projects here that we did this year and kind of share some of the concepts and ideas. Our focus this year was mostly on engaging our students, creativity, a lot of the panels mentioned already, giving them the opportunity to do some of their own learning.
Hi, my name is Riley. I am in 3rd grade at Momilani Elementary School. The project we are working on this year was retelling a story within Minecraft. The first challenge for our team was where we had to divide the story into equal scenes. I felt that I could be creative when I built my villages because I had to add as much details as possible. During a walkthrough, my team helped me decide how the village could look better and add more details to the setting. I felt like it was a good project to do because it also helped me collaborate, work together, and be more creative, not just in Minecraft.
So the students worked in collaborative groups between 3 and 5 students in each group, and they used Google Docs to track all their adjustments, assessments, all that kind of stuff. This is actually what they started with, though. We would research different stories, and they would research different versions of that story and compare and contrast them before they actually created the maps. Then we would take it into Minecraft. We'd create story element charts. So we're bringing on our language arts content here. This was the creativity coming out with the kids. This is Jack and the Beanstalk. And you can see how the kids decided they weren't going to make the castle on the ground. They actually made it up in the air, and they created 2 beanstalks on either end. Anybody can see the dead giant at the very end of the story? Yeah, he's there. Take a look. One of the things they got to do this year was to actually create their own skins for the characters. They had so much fun doing that. It was actually just something we just spontaneously added to the project. You know, they were like, well, we need custom giant skins and things like that. So I just tried to add it in. They had such a blast working on this project. So here's a picture of my overall map and the 8 different stories that the students used and the layouts. Again, such a great project. This is our 4th grade project.
At MINECON Elementary School, and one of our projects this year was the Minecraft EDU Zoo. We had the total area for the animal enclosure, but the challenge was we had to find the lengths and widths, so we had to work the other way around. We had to find the total cost for the animals, but it was challenging because we had a certain quantity and had to find the total cost for all of them. One of our teammates had trouble calculating the total lengths and widths, so we had to help him find the calculations. I enjoyed this project because I learned how to budget myself, how to find area, and I also learned that you can get things done faster if you work as a team.
So, as my student explained there, we actually started this project focusing on area and perimeter. It turned out we gave them a budget. They were doing balancing of their budget and estimating cost of animals. Here you can see some of the reports that they did, totaling the total space, the total cost for each animal. It was great. One of the hard things that students have is when they total up the area and then trying to work backwards and find a length and width that fits. So they were able to do this, not only do this, but fit it into an amoeba-shaped area that, you know, they had to navigate all 8 of the species of animals. We took it even further, and they had to research the different biomes, both in Minecraft and in real life, and see what kind of things these animals would need to survive in a zoo. Then they tried their best to recreate them in Minecraft. One of the great surprising things in this was the students actually asked, who was going to work in this zoo? Well, not me. I got a job already. So I said, well, we can actually use custom NPCs. So we actually created job descriptions. They researched on the San Diego Zoo website to find what kind of jobs were at a zoo, what kind of pay do they get. I mean, all of the learning that we did in this was just great because it just happened so naturally. Here's an example of the area that they were given and trying to fit quadrilaterals into an amoeba shape, plus leave a path. They added ticket booths and concession stands and even bathrooms into their zoos. In the end, they had to give me an executive summary report where I had to decide, of the 8 projects, whose was I going to actually build within our world. Now, we talk a lot about motivation and why students' purpose or why the students are doing this. It was amazing how how much they wanted to do this based on the fact that this could be used to teach other kids later on in maps. These guys are great map makers, you know, these two, and I'm sure they've done that kind of thing where they get kids to help and come up with great ideas so that I can then use those maps to teach other concepts.
You will now, right? My name is Jared, and I'm a 5th grader at MINECON Elementary, and one of the projects we did this year was the roller coaster project. In one of our experiments, we got information that didn't make sense, so we needed to redesign and rebuild the experiment all over again. While building the wizard, we got creative and were able to build something that we thought was pretty impressive. Once we made a fire too close to wood and it started to burn. Then we put water everywhere to take out the fire, and the water destroyed lots of rails. So we had to rebuild double of what was damaged from the fire. I have learned that good teamwork is important in any group project.
Okay, so this project actually had 2 parts to it. The first one was us actually learning about the scientific process. We had questions, we had hypothesis, we had data collection, we had all this kind of stuff. The kids were creating experiments of their own within Minecraft to test things like height versus distance, powered rails to get up a certain slope, and do turns actually affect the distance a minecart will travel. Some of the results were surprising, and as this student mentioned, they came up with some really random data at the beginning. So what they do, they redesigned the experiment. One of the things they did was adding the colored wool blocks here to make it easier to calculate the distance it would travel. Another thing they came up with when they first did this was students were doing different things like jumping on it, pushing it, running towards it, trying to get that minecart to take off. A student came up and said, you know, Mr. Aslan, it'd be way easier if we had one way for everybody to launch their minecarts, and they developed this. You know, and I'm sure that, like Gabe says, they learned about this from YouTube. Brought it into our classroom. We shared the reasoning behind it and why those human errors can affect our data when doing scientific experiments. So now we're including the engineering design process for including experiments. Then we go ahead and here's the experiment they used as far as tracking that do turns actually affect it. And if you take a look, it actually doesn't affect it that much. So Minecraft physics is a little bit different than real life physics, and that was okay. I was not trying to teach them about real life physics. I was trying to teach them how to learn about the rules and constraints within the world they were in and apply that to then create, well, of course they did their data sheets here. Sorry, I missed that one. But to create roller coasters of their own where they applied those concepts that they learned about physics within Minecraft and utilized them to create roller coaster designs. So this was their final project, and this one was great because there's a pixel art they did in here. Oh, sorry. And then, anyway, there's a whole bunch of other roller coasters that you can see and everything else. So, thank you.
Right. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, animals, minerals, and vegetables. My name's Adam Clark, and this is Dragnos. So I'm going to talk about some of the stuff I do. Okay, so I'm one of those YouTubers, okay? And I created a YouTube series called 101 Ideas for Minecraft Learners. And really the reason for doing that was basically I was a parent and a kind of teacher-ish, and I wanted somewhere friendly where we could all learn about this stuff together. So this is for parents and also for teachers as well, so we could all learn some tips and tricks about how we can engage and use Minecraft together. So that's on the internet, and it's free. I'm going to go through a load of slides and sort of talk about different projects that have got me to the place where I am now. So where I am now is I work with Stampy, and we make an educational show called Wonder Quest. I play a wizard called Wizard Keen. He's quite fond of mushroom stew. And also we teach a load of stuff. We actually teach Common Core, US Common Core educational standards, which actually goes across the whole of Europe as well. We can do all that kind of stuff. Anyway, what we're seeing now is we're seeing a satellite image of Cumbria remade in Minecraft. I like to fiddle around with Minecraft and do things that, not many other people are doing. I showed this to a museum once, and they were like, wow, that's really... I said, yeah, I've made Cumbria. Wouldn't it be great to put Hadrian's Wall along the top of it? And they were so impressed with it. Then about 2 months later, we had a big night out at the museum, working with the museum and the museum staff to recreate Roman settlements within Cumbria. It was really exciting. So that idea of curiosity within Minecraft and then creating really engaging content for young people was sort of sparked then. The museum then got me to make a wetlands map. So we talked about, people are like, how can you recreate real landscapes? Well, you can't really, but what you can do is you can create conversations around real landscapes. So I created a wetlands map because the museum that I worked with had a load of stuffed Victorian birds. And to be frank, they're a little bit boring. So what we did was we created an engaging map on the iPad, and the kids could look at all the information that was in there, the stuffed birds, understand that a whooper swan or the different kind of swans want to live in different kind of wetland habitats. We have a conversation about habitats, and then they can recreate them in Minecraft. It doesn't matter if they're actually correct or not. It's the conversation around that subject that's the interesting thing, and where skills can be learnt. I also had great fun making a human body from medical scans. Man, it was great. But it took me about 3 months, okay? And then I had a conversation with Adrian Brightmore, and Adrian Brightmore said, what are you trying to do? And I said, well, I'm trying to do, Adrian Brightmore's an Australian guy who does he does coding for MC Edit. And he made an MC Edit filter for me that did what I'd done in 3 months. It did it in 7 seconds. What that taught me was, learn coding now, children. Learn coding now. It's useful. And ask for help. Yeah, and ask for help, okay? So I'm not, go out there, talk to people, talk to your teachers, ask for help. Okay, another thing, this is a sort of personal story for me as well. I've got a 7-year-old boy. When he was 2 years old, he was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes, okay? Which basically means his pancreas packs up, and we have to kind of inject him with insulin. Now, what basically he means is anytime he eats a carbohydrate, we have to look at the carbohydrate level within the food that he's eating and balance it with an insulin bolus. He was 2. We both played Minecraft when he was about 3 years old, much to his mother's joy. She went away for the day, and I was like, hey, we're playing Minecraft. So through Minecraft, we've actually looked at, this is his insulin pump. So my son's on an insulin pump, and I recreated the insulin pump within Minecraft. So we're looking at kind of how we are learning via a game, via a video game, and via lots of different types of media, not only books and other things like that, and films, but also through Minecraft. Teeth. Another thing about Django, my son, was I was trying to explain to him about plaque and about bacteria in the mouth. So I haven't finished it actually, I've started a game called Tiny Dentist, which really basically recreates slimes as bacteria. So slimes are reproduced again and again, like bacteria do, and then we have to kill the bacteria to brush them off or bash them with a stick, or what happens if too many bacteria appear is we spawn TNT, ignited TNT, and it blows up the dental plaque. So I got some these giant teeth, and I downloaded this stuff from the internet, which is loads of free stuff on the internet, and I downloaded it and make a giant mouth. It was really good fun. And then I met Stampy. So one night, I was reading a book. I was reading When the Tiger Comes to Tea with my little boy, and I changed it from When the Tiger Comes to Tea, When Stampy Comes to Tea. And Stampy thought this, my little boy thought this is hilarious. So that night, I tweeted Stampy, and I said, look, I've got this crazy idea. I don't know if you're a famous YouTuber and everything. Would you like to collaborate? To my utter surprise, he said yes. And When Stampy Comes to Tea is a great video online. I'm saying that because I made it, but it's a great video. But it's fun because it's a children's book. So what I was after was like family entertainment that's also good for learning. So it's a gateway to books and reading. So this is a more recent project that I did. I did something, we recreated the Royal Festival Hall for a festival called The Web We Want. The Web We Want was about 2 weeks to 3 weeks ago at the Royal Festival Hall in London. If nobody's been out to London yet, it looks a bit like that. What we did was we created the Royal Festival Hall there, and then all around it, people could come in from all around the world and also locally. So remember that Minecraft is a collaborative game. You can play it single player, but I think the most of us, especially in a classroom, is when children and young people and older people collaborate together and play together and learn together at the same time. So what we did with the Royal Festival Hall is kids could play and build together ideas around what the Web We Want is, which was like sharing, equality, free at source, all those kind of positive things about the web that we want. More London stuff. I'm also responsible for making 8 maps for Tate Britain. So we've looked at, the Tate has commissioned me to reach out to a larger community and also create maps that are paintings. So paintings and artwork, they're in Tate Britain. We've taken those artworks and we recreated Minecraft maps. So you can go into these maps and explore them, not just as representations, but more as cultural adventures, where you learn about the artist and the artwork by playing a map and having fun. So my little boy, we did one called The Pool of London, and you can learn about who the artist was, what Fauvism is, and all those exciting stuff along with the art. So it's a little bit of art history, stealthily taught via gameplay. There's a picture of it. Very beautifully made. And I get other people, and I collaborate with far more talented people than me to build these maps and to also program them, which is what Dragnos does. Me and Stampy, okay? So we are creating a show, and it's episode 10 comes out today. 11. Man, episode 11. Episode 12 is the last one, by the way. It's very good. So our show is an educational show, okay? We don't say that very often, but it is. Each episode has some little morsel of education that we try and learn. We're on the Common Core Grade 2 at the moment, and we're recording Season 2 right now as well. I'm going to show you a little video of the trailer.
Terrific! You're here. My name is Keen.
My name is Stampy.
You're our new hero.
A hero? Me? You obviously have no idea who I am.
This is called the Wonder Cube. It usually holds the most important artifact in all of Wonderburg, the Wonder Gem.
Okay, so where is it?
My brother Heenus broke it. We have to find all the pieces.
Let's go. Come on, Barnaby.
Stop them from getting the next Wonder Gem at all costs.
Are you hitting them with a flower, Amy? Is that your weapon of choice?
Flower power!
Can I offer you some air fresheners? No one likes a smelly spaceship. Cat farts.
Why do I keep falling today?
Okay, thank you. So our children are watching YouTube a lot anyway. There's a new YouTube app which actually, in the US, if you can download it, you can curtail how long they watch it for. I can't wait to get that over here in Europe. But for now, if our children are watching YouTube, they might as well be watching something that's sort of family-friendly and entertaining and, oh my gosh, educational. So there is all these kind of things that are happening on YouTube, which I quite like. The last map that we have here is the last commission that I've just done for the Guardian newspaper. And again, I didn't build this stuff. There are far more talented and younger people than me who build this stuff. But what I do is I am a digital producer. So I help produce this stuff and work with teams of people around the world because we can, because again, Minecraft is an online environment. So this was about climate change and about the positive things that climate change, some of the positive technology within climate change. So again, it's about teaching and learning and offering people opportunities to find out for themselves about all these kind of really interesting stuff that's out there. So for me, Minecraft is the engaging source to the learning environment that we want to have for our young people. And that's kind of me for the moment. I'm going to pass it over to Dragnos, and he can talk a little bit about what he does in the educational world.
I'm not sure. Oh, I'm only here to watch the panel. Okay, so yeah, basically, when we're looking at education, Minecraft is quite constrictive in certain aspects, but the moment you start going into the deeper mechanics of how Minecraft actually work, it's a very rich platform on which you can actually develop educational content. I mean, there's no way I can say it better than the opening ceremony said. Minecraft is a language in which kids can express themselves, okay, and that we, as educators, can hook into and engage them in. So I create working mechanics of any given curriculum topics and then show the kids on my channel how to recreate those mechanics themselves. For example, if we look, can we go back to your slides? So if you, for example, look at, which one shall we, yeah, should we look at, if you look at the City of Hope, oh, now I'm going to get stuck. Okay, if we look at the City of Hope, the whole point behind the City of Hope was it's a city that uses completely renewable energy sources. Okay, so basically what I did, I went and I designed and built an energy system that draws energy from all of these renewable sources, and the kids can then actually see if it's daylight, the daylight energy goes up. If they're using kinetic sidewalks, the kinetic sidewalks power goes up. And then this all drains into the main master battery. What happens at night? There's no more solar power. The more people turn on the building's lights, the quicker the power drains. So the kids then can kind of go into that world, flip the switches, and try and manage the power of the sustainable city. It's an absolute playground for learning. It's a safe way for them to blow up the city if they make a mistake, but then learn from those mistakes. In Wonder Quest, we've covered so many things. If you do go and watch season 1, I mean, we covered everything from water cycles to we went to Mars, and each planet had its own type of gravity, which we had to recreate in Minecraft. So if you go and watch Wonder Quest, everything you see in that game, in the show, was physically done in Minecraft. You can now download that map in Minecraft 1.8, and you can go and do exactly what we did in that map. Yeah. So that's the kind of thing, taking those concepts, making it real, teaching the kids how to do it. Because once you guys mentioned they come to the YouTubers to see how to do it. What the spill out from that is that they would come to us, and they would then get a better understanding of what you are teaching them by trying to recreate it in Minecraft. So, and that's a very, very big thing for me. Okay, I don't remember what else I was telling. Yeah, leads to greater enthusiasm and understanding of the original topic. Something I tell this man a lot. When he gives me the call at like 2 a.m. in the morning, can we do this? I'm like, anything is possible in Minecraft as long as you're willing to compromise a bit. Okay, aside from that, anything is possible. Figuring out how to do the most difficult thing you can think of is the best way to learn. I think that's what you guys will find with the kids as well. They don't want to go learn how to walk. They want to run. Okay, it doesn't matter that they're crawling, they want to run. And that is what Minecraft is good at. You know, they can try and run and fail, but then they have that enthusiasm to push their own boundaries. They're pushing themselves more and more. And this is actually, this one I said, actually for the teachers. Any teacher who's out there who's looking to use Minecraft but doesn't actually understand what's going on or looking for help, never be afraid to ask for help. Okay, you might just get it. This is how I got involved. This is exactly how we got involved. He came to me and said, you know, out of the blue, can you help? Yes. You know, so no. Also, you are not alone. If you're a teacher in education, you guys are not alone. If you go to a YouTuber, if you go to anybody who's doing this, it's an incredible, great community. The people will rally around you, and if you explain to them what you are doing, they will love it. They love it. This is a natural fit. Twitter, Instagram, Google, YouTube, all of those things are your best friends if you are wanting to go into Minecraft for education. That's me.
Thank you. So we have a little bit of time left, and we're going to go to sort of more of an open question and answer session, but I do actually have one question for the panel and then one question for Ray as well. So going back to talking a little bit about teachers, I think one thing that unites all of us here is we all really love Minecraft and we play Minecraft a lot. A lot of teachers aren't gamers. And so how important do you think it is for somebody to be a gamer in order to use Minecraft in the classroom? Curious if someone wants to speak to that.
So one of the things for me is I play a lot of Minecraft, but pretty much any time I do the workshop or any time I bring it up in class, I learn something new from the students. And recently at Iolani, we've been having a lot of other teachers who have never touched Minecraft before bring Minecraft into the classroom and be okay not having all the answers for it. Being saying like, okay, we're gonna figure out Minecraft today. I don't know anything about Minecraft, you guys do, so you guys teach me. You guys teach me about Minecraft. And then we recently had a project where one of the teachers wanted to do Ender's Game, the book. So they're reading the book and they wanted to build scenes in Minecraft. She'd never touched like video games in her life before, but she brought in Minecraft and just had the kids design Ender's World in Minecraft. So yeah, you do not need any Minecraft experience. So any of the parents out here today, if you've never touched Minecraft before, play Minecraft with your kids tonight.
I was just going to add to that, actually. As Gabe just mentioned, yeah, you don't need to play Minecraft. You don't need to be a gamer, but it definitely benefits you if you have. You know, I'm a big fan of using game mechanics to teach different concepts. But you know what? The biggest thing you've got to do if you're going to use Minecraft in the classroom or use it as a teaching thing is to be willing to listen. Be willing to listen to those 8-year-olds tell you that this is how you should do it. And you're thinking, no, I'm okay. No, listen to them. Give them that time. Spend that time to actually take a look at what they're actually building online instead of just saying, oh, you're playing that game again. What? None of you in here because you're all at MineCon, so clearly you would enjoy the game.
Yeah, so for me it's about, I'm outside of education. I was a teacher for a while. I taught multimedia at post-16 sort of UK schools. And then I've become an independent kind of artist doing all sorts of different workshops around the country. So, and what I'm very good at is I suppose I'm very good with people and groups of people as well. But we also do some workshops. I've got a studio in the north, and in our studio in the north we do a Minecraft Sunday, first Sunday of every month. And you can come along and just have a go at playing Minecraft. And now what I've noticed is the kids just get on and they play it. But what we tend to do is that we tend to have tea and coffee with mums and dads. And at that point the conversation sparks up. And we're a soft sort of playground for mums and dads to get involved and also start those conversations about why Minecraft is, most people think, my son made this amazing, he made this sort of temple, and it was all like Greek things, and he started researching about it. And I suppose it's encouraging conversations about where Minecraft can go, and also putting that source material about it. I talked this morning about where I get my ideas from, and it's source material. My background is in art and illustration and painting and things like that. Traditional arts is where I come from, and I end up making in Minecraft. There's not a lot of difference between traditional arts, really, as far as method and methodology and teaching than is with Minecraft. It's very, very similar. Do you want to have a go? Anybody else? Okay.
And I feel like the educational potential of Minecraft is just the potential Minecraft has in education is just an extension of what the game itself is capable of. Like, one of the biggest criticisms that Minecraft as a game has is that there aren't a lot of tutorials. It's not exactly the most friendly game to those who haven't played it before. And that's something a lot of people have a problem with, because so many video games today hold your hand and introduce you to it. But in Minecraft, if you just go in there and say, I want to play this like any other game, you're not going to get anywhere. You actually have to go out of your way and look at, in order to even learn how to play the game, you have to go look up the crafting recipes and stuff like that, or else you have to experiment until you find something that works. So I feel like the using Minecraft for critical thinking is something that's sort of built into the game, and I think that education is just one of the most, is an expansion of the nature of Minecraft itself, and an incredibly helpful expansion at that.
So a word of encouragement for the teachers. Even though you know the game in and out, you still know the classroom, you know the students, you're experts in the pedagogy. So if you know how to solve fights that happen on a playground during the break. So you see those moments in Minecraft all the time. Someone comes and blows up other person's house and there's a fight. So you just take that moment and talk to the kids, like you've mentioned a million times. There are these teachable moments that teachers know how to use. So just trust your pedagogical expertise and don't worry so much about knowing the platform, because that's what the students know.
Thanks. Yeah, and certainly for me, like I was saying, so many of the teachable moments happen when they're not actually playing. Minecraft sets the stage for good teaching to take place. We're actually very fortunate to be joined by Ray Chambers, who is involved with Computercraft, and coding and programming is certainly a big, big topic. And I'm wondering, Ray, can you tell us a little bit about Computercraft and how it can help encourage kids to code?
So in the UK, we were faced with this challenge from September that programming came into our new curriculum. It was previously word processing. It was previously all very office-based. And the students weren't very engaged with that. So what we had to do is kind of think around how we could get more students into coding. So what we started doing is experimenting with Computercraft and helping students understand more about variables, exploring Minecraft, not just to be used for story making, for the logic gates, which are also very useful, but to kind of get them really immersed in the programming and looking at the syntax, because with Computercraft, you can teach them the basics, you can teach them about indenting, you can do hello world, you can also use the turtle that so many of them used to start with. And it's been a great tool, and so many of our students have taken these skills on and went on to use them in other programming languages now, and it's been a huge success.
Thank you. We're very excited to see more of it. At this point, if there are questions in the audience, I'd love to have you address any of our panel members. Are you going to be able to? Oh, okay, great.
Straight in there, as usual. Hi, my name's Steve Molyneux. I run a teacher training organization. I'm going to play devil's advocate. Okay, so I'd like to address the teachers who use Minecraft for teaching. I have two questions. Firstly, in your classes, what is the time ratio spent on directed teaching, independent learning, and then collaborative learning? Because as we all know, time in the classroom is very precious. And it seems to me like, it may be that there's a lot of work. And secondly, all techs, right the way through to when I was working for Atari, have promised this sort of panacea of how it's going to improve teaching and learning. And I wondered whether you know of any evidence or ongoing research that shows the impact of using Minecraft and other such tools on attainment.
Great. I guess I'd like to address those initially. In my classroom, we have a vanilla Minecraft server that's set up, and the kids are mostly using Minecraft when they're not in the classroom. So they're using it asynchronously. And what I find is that the trust that's built up by kids, especially in the beginning of the school term, using Minecraft, actually benefits the face-to-face learning in the classroom. The more collaborative kinds of content-based activities that I give them that are off Minecraft, kids are actually better at asking each other questions as we get into it because they've been using Minecraft separately. And what's interesting is a lot of the time at the beginning of the term, the kids who know the most about Minecraft are not necessarily the kids who have the most mathematical knowledge. So the kids who know the most about Minecraft are helping the kids figure out things because I give them assignments in Minecraft. And the kids who know less about it are often learning from the kids who know more about it, and then later on when we get deep into content, it's reversed. And what I've found helps is when you have stronger students with weaker students are afraid to ask for help. But when you start with Minecraft, it actually shifts that so that they know that these people have helped them earlier on in the term. It's easier for them to ask for help later. And so I've seen benefits in my face-to-face class work with kids because we've used Minecraft mostly outside of class. Now, regarding your question about independent versus collaborative learning, if you're using it asynchronously, a lot of the time when kids need to learn something, they're turning to YouTube, they're turning to other kinds of resources because they're not necessarily working on a in-class project at the same time. So I think it actually fosters independent learning skills for that reason.
So with my experiment was actually a 7-hour workshop on a Saturday, that initial experiment. So my initial response from that was, how did you get my kid to do a research project for 4 hours nonstop without any breaks? So I do believe that it has potential for that engagement to get them to engage further. And what I found is even after that 7-hour workshop, the students who were passionate about it, the ones who were able to take, okay, this is Hawaiian history, I'm really interested in it, on it, they went home and they taught themselves for another, 50 hours or so, just going off on their own, doing their own worlds, getting their friends together and organizing it that way. So that was the benefits I saw for that.
So as I mentioned, my first year using Minecraft, I focused a lot on math as that was kind of my assignment at school. And within the game, there's an item called a book and quill. So through a lot of my maps, I would have the kids have this book and quill, and they would document within it all of the learning they would do with the math. Now, what was really impressive is that these things started accumulating so much that just like Doug, we have a map that we use as our base, which is our school. The library used to have the fake library blocks with all the books. I had to take those out and put bookshelves in, and students were each given a shelf to put their evidence of learning on those bookshelves. So at any time throughout the year, we could go in and pull out their book from the beginning of the year and say, here's what you did at the beginning of the year, here's what you did at the end. So imagine they're surprised when at the beginning of the year they were writing like one sentence, or the answer is 24. At the end, they're writing 3-4 pages of written answers and constructed response. So I would say that's definitely evidence of growth.
Hi. I think one of the biggest impact that I've seen with my students is when they're working together and they're collaborating in this server, a lot of students who have social anxiety are learning life skills, and what they also pick up on is they start talking to each other a lot more, whereas in person, a lot of the time they might find that difficult and have that barrier, but when you put them into the server and give them that environment where they can chat in there as well, that helps improve their learning because they're really improving their confidence. But also one of the biggest things that we've noticed with their independent learning is we ordered a bunch of Minecraft books for our library, and the first day, all of them went. So all the students are actually taking more books out of the library and also improving their literacy because they want to find out more about this.
I think we have probably time for one more question.
Hi, my name's Joe Hammond. I was wondering, you mentioned about when you do project-based learning, they're working in teams, and have you been in any situation where a student might be doing something in a project and they've gone off on a tangent, or that I've gone completely off task, that actually they're doing something productive. And at what point, if that happened, would you sort of bring them back onto task? And when would you sort of run with whatever idea they're doing?
Oh, I encourage that. We had kids redesign our new library, and we gave them an island, and we said, you can do anything you want on this island, but it has to stay on the island. If kids had started to move off the island, I think I would have stepped in at that point. We actually use a bucket server, and we use a plugin called Core Protect. And one thing that I love about doing group projects is that after the fact, I can go in and I can right-click on any block, and I can see who placed it and when. And I've never been able to do that before with a finished group project. You never know if everybody contributed equally, or if people contributed and then one person came in later and redid everything because they're a perfectionist. But there are plugins and ways to use Minecraft to find out really what's going on behind the scenes in group work. And so I find it's actually helped the kind of collaboration and helped me value the different kinds of tangents that kids go in, because I think innovation comes from those tangents. Well, I think we're about out of time. We are going to stay here informally, and I'd encourage you, if you have additional questions, to please come on up and ask us. But otherwise, thank you so much for your time. We really appreciate it.